I'll tell you, these horses here for Iowa, the horses are really going to have to get to work. They know they can't just be safe and get 3-point decisions. They got to go out and try to pin somebody.
Well, they've got a lot of plowing to do right now. I'll tell you, that one team-point deduction when they lost it, and that major decision against them, even with the loss, those are going to be 2 critical points in this meet.
Van Arsdale on the left for Iowa State against a national champion. Marty Kistler ranked #1 for Iowa.
Hi, I'm Marty Kistler from Riverside, California. I'm a 3-time All-American and a 2-time NCAA champ and an outstanding wrestler in 1986.
In many ways, to me, he personifies the Iowa wrestler program. He goes at you. But Van Arsdale's been tough this year.
Van Arsdale will wrestle with Kistler. This can be a very good match. He is no slouch, believe me.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Arsdale. I'm from Waterloo, Iowa. I went to West High School there, where I was state champion. And I also went to Iowa State, where I was 3-time All-American and national champ.
I figured after Royce got beat, we're coming out with Marty Kistler, defending national champion, really, really dominant that year. Van Arsdale's very good, tough. We knew he probably wasn't going to get a major, but we were going to win.
Iowa State putting out Metzger, deciding not to wrestle Voelker, and then Iowa weighed in Raleigh Kane from Wapsie Valley, and they could put him out there thinking he could beat
both men stalling.
Metzger,
You're
and
just
then
reaching,
they move
there's no depth.
Duane Goldman up to heavyweight to wrestle Heropoulos.
That's Steve Metzger. And Goldman last year used to beat Heropoulos at 190. So
they think he can do it again. That weight may be a difference. This is going to be real fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. That's John Heropoulos back in the tunnel. Dan Gable on the right. Mark Johnson, assistant coach on the left.
We're looking at the potential to see that 36-match streak snapped right here.
But we're looking for big bonus points possibly, and I just didn't feel good that was going to happen in that match.
Last year, national title holder at 158. He was runner-up the year before.
And see what he's doing is he's riding on it. He's riding on that strike that takes that away.
Escape for Van Arsdale. It's now 1-0.
I didn't have an easy match against Iowa, ever.
That's Goldman, Duane Goldman. A lot is going to rest on this man's shoulders, Duane Goldman. That's wherever he wrestles.
That's right.
If you missed a little of this match, of this meet so far, Harry Summit pinned Matt Egelin. That was really the tempo start. That got the ball going for Iowa State. 4:24 in the match. He pinned Egelin. Kelly beat Penrith 5-2. Now you see.
He did a nice little duck under there.
Kistler with a duck under.
Nothing yet.
At 134, Randall beat Jeff Gibbons 8-4. Then Dresser probably took over the #1 rating by beating Joe Gibbons in a heck of a match 4-3. But Krieger upset, well, I don't know if you'd call it an upset, but he beat Heffernan at 150 for Iowa State, 6-4. And then Bill Tate got a major decision over Royce Alger.
Yeah, it was tight, but it loosened up.
1-1 is the score. An escape for Van Arsdale, a penalty point against Van Arsdale in the second period. Van Arsdale is tough on top. Now, Kistler is out. And it's 2-1, Kistler.
Now, we haven't seen Van Arsdale have an offense yet, but he's still in this match mentally, which means that he might generate an offense and score.
Now Kistler is where he wants to be. That's what he wants.
Well, he's got to be able to stay down toward the foot. Don't get up where the hips can hurt him. Van Arsdale's got to hit the move right here. He's got an opportunity. Can't wait for him. Got to throw that thing.
And Kistler wins. Did he get him 2? No. No riding time. It's a 1-point match. Kistler 2, Van Arsdale 1. But if you're an Iowa State coach, you say, I can beat him at the Nationals, huh?
That's right. The Hawks are wrestling tired in this match.
Yeah, it is true. All right, 3 points now for Iowa. That brings them up closer and closer. 16-8. Iowa State still leads in this big meet at Hilton Coliseum. You're watching on Iowa Public Television.
I can't say at any dual meet I was at my best, but I can say that I was competitive in those dual meets and trying to do my best to win but it was like part of the overall scheme at Iowa State, and that was to be national champs.
We go to 177. Iowa is definitely favored here. It's Rico Chiapparelli, ranked number 3, up against Bob Gassman. But Gassman made the first offensive move.
Well, we've watched Gassman all year make offensive moves and bounce out of there. Now, the last time we saw him against Northern Iowa, he did not bounce out of there. He hit in on some of those offensive moves and scored takedowns. And if he'll do that against Chiapparelli, he can score. He's an excellent talent. It's just that Chiapparelli is so dangerous, you kind of get afraid of going on in there, because he's another one of those guys, like I was telling Krieger and Randall, his hips can hurt you so much.
Yeah, you get a tiger by the tail.
177, it was Chiapparelli against Gassman, and when I was watching that match, I know Chiapparelli. I've watched him wrestle before. I know how dangerous he is. Counters you so well. You do a lot of the work, and he ends up with the score.
He was fun to watch. I mean, he was fun for other coaches to watch.
If Iowa wants to win the meet, they got to have big wins out of these next 2 weights, because they're in trouble at heavyweight.
Iowa has won 36 straight. There's Eric Voelker. There is Steve Metzger. They're both getting ready. They both weighed in. They both weighed 190 pounds today.
You know, I think Rico and I felt pretty confident in our matches, but, you know, we had our backs against the wall at that point, but it was just kind of those little turns and tides of that whole match.
This is what is generally considered the meat of the Iowa lineup, the really tough guys, or where their dominance against the Iowa State opponent might come.
Well, they thought they might dominate the last one. They had to fight for their life in order to win it. So, you know, you never know. It's so far gone a long way. He's not doing what he wants to do, I'm sure. Chiapparelli from Iowa is not getting him over, and that's what he thinks he should be doing.
And I think Rico was maybe a little bit of the wild card because anything could happen with Rico's matches, and he could put you on your back and pin you in a hurry. So I think everybody was kind of, you know, thinking, well, we still got kind of an ace in the hole with Rico in terms of maybe getting some extra bonus points with a pin.
Okay, Bob, make a set.
16-8, Cyclones over the Hawks. I don't think we've seen the last amazing incident yet.
Takes a little bit of time to work the offense. Not that it's wrong, it's just that he's got to be able to score from this. We saw this one other time now. Gassman's there.
There went a knee.
Yep.
And we've seen really things happen in injuries, and I'm afraid that this may be one of them.
You hate to see it. Well, we've seen a lot of guys in those spots.
Because in this match, he gets dinged up and he gets hurt a little bit. And one of the things that you're thinking about as a coach is thinking, you know, let's get through this meet healthy. That's one of the major concerns.
Gassman is on his feet, and he's going to go. And that gets the crowd in it again.
Yes. Coaches, let's listen to this.
Before the control was initiated. Okay, ready?
It's 2-1. Chiapparelli leads.
Gassman's been there. Here he is again.
This time he goes up high. He changed off to a tight waist. Again, Chiapparelli is like a cobra up there waiting to strike because he's so dangerous as a counter wrestler.
You know, I was hoping that Rico would pin him because that's what he was known for, and I think he was, you know, he was certainly heavily favored in that match. And he was going out there and looked like he was going to dominate, possibly get a pin, and he just did the things Rico did.
You don't want to get up around Chiapparelli's waist. Get up higher than that, get you in trouble.
And again, his knee hurt. But 2 points to take down to Chiapparelli. And injury time is called again. They don't want to take this thing too far. They don't want to lose 6 points for a default. Gassman isn't going to let him.
Well, instinct says go ahead and wrestle. You know, I mean, you see boxers get up from being knocked out and they think they can go back and box. And he's a good athlete. Feels like he can, but when they start to take a look at it, maybe they'll find that pressure point. 7 seconds to go.
7 seconds to go in the second period. Chiapparelli is leading by 3.
Well, just hit a spiral right there and attempt to stop him.
All right, now we got 1 period to go. Iowa State leads Iowa 16-8. We're at 177 pounds. His good leg is the one that he's trying to protect.
Chiapparelli took the down position because he thinks he can score. It gives him 1 more point. Gives him an opportunity then to come back and maybe get that major decision.
That's it. Escape.
And out comes Chiapparelli, leads 5-1. It's important. Every point matters here because the meet is so close. Takedown for Chiapparelli, 7-1.
Watch me.
He might be wise right now. Just cut him loose. Unless he can turn him over, just cut him loose because he's been penalized in this position. Gassman's just basing out, trying not to get turned.
And he has a riding time. And so if he were able to get out and make another takedown. Gassman against Chiapparelli. There's Rico. Only a junior.
Well, he's wrestling as fresh as any of the guys on the team so far have. It's like he understands what's going on, what he has to do. Staying with it.
And he does let the escape go. It's 7-2. It's actually a 6-point difference because Chiapparelli will get a riding time point. And if the takedown comes. However, Gassman has not been warned yet.
Well, he was the offensive wrestler almost the whole match. All of a sudden, he just stopped doing that.
A big takedown for Chiapparelli. Maybe he's going to try to find something, and yeah, like that. And,
well, he might just try to finish.
Now it's 9-3, a 7-point difference. And here's the place where Gassman needs to go. It makes a difference of a point in his team. Unfortunately, he's going to lose it again. And now Chiapparelli definitely has a major decision. 11-3. He's had 3 takedowns in this period. Chiapparelli would like to get some back points maybe. But the match ends. Riding time for Chiapparelli. And it's a major decision. 12-3 for Rico Chiapparelli over Gassman of Iowa State. And so the Hawkeyes have won 2 in a row. And here comes Goldman. He comes out first. He doesn't have to do that.
Well,
who's going to wrestle? It's going to be Voelker.
Hi, I'm Eric Voelker from Dallas Center, Iowa. I'm a former 2-time national champ and 3-time All-American and a member of the Iowa State National Championship Wrestling Team in 1987.
Hi, I'm Duane Goldman. I grew up here in Colorado Springs where I wrestled at Cheyenne Mountain High School. There I was a 2-time state champion. From there I went and wrestled at the University of Iowa for Dan Gable where I was a 4-time Big Ten champ, a 4-time national finalist, and an NCAA champion in 1986.
It's going to be Eric Voelker coming out for Iowa State at 190 pounds, the first time out since he wrestled against Goldman last time. Boy, you don't think there's electricity in this hall because Iowa State still leads by 4. And we have the heavyweight match, Hierapolis against Sindlinger, still coming up. A freshman against a senior.
When I wrestled him the first time, he was 18-0. He had won the Las Vegas tournament. He was the outstanding wrestler there, but I had never seen him wrestle before. I mean, obviously there was no FloWrestling, there was no anything, and so I'd never really had the opportunity. I just knew of him and kind of what he had done.
How do I beat an opponent that's actually better than me? And I had done that a little bit earlier in that season, beating the returning champ Dan Shade out in Vegas. And so there were points in my life that I had these milestones that were happening of both learning physically and learning mentally. But this was a tough one because Goldman was strong.
With Eric, he was just his explosiveness when they're right in front of you, you know, so I had to try to keep some angles where he just never got a clean blast.
The first time these 2 men met in Iowa City, Goldman won 10-4.
That was the only collegiate takedown I lost that year was in that first match.
Recognizing that you just can't go through somebody that strong. But I tried.
Right, there was a stress fracture in there. This time Goldman can't. You see him coming in with that wild double leg. Beautiful shot.
Caught him a little off balance right there. He was going one way and he came back and just had the arm trap. Almost caught him on his back.
I remember pulling my headgear away from my head because it was so loud in Hilton of people cheering against you.
Goldman, such an outstanding wrestler. He's finished 3 years in a row as runner-up in the Nationals after winning Big Ten titles. He is undefeated at 26-0.
Stalemate.
It's been a thriller. There's Hierapolis talking to his coach, Eddie Bannock, who was on the Iowa team the last time Iowa State beat Iowa in 1981.
So during the 190-pound match, it was becoming apparent to me the gravity of the situation. That the dual meet was probably going to come down to the heavyweight match.
Crowd got into it a little bit when Goldman went back on the foot. 2-0 Goldman over Voelker. That's Gibbons.
Well, he's about to experience the first real big win of his life. I mean, he's had some big ones, but
well, if he can get it.
That was the most confident I had seen Duane, and I felt great about him during that time. And not that it was important, but I just remember thinking that I don't know how this guy's going to lose, just the way he was wrestling at that point in his career.
What he's got to do is keep the hips high, take him out.
Eric Voelker. Gable's in the heavyweight.
He's too high. He's in trouble right here.
An escape.
A lot of power.
Iowa has to win both matches. Iowa has to win both of them.
Got him extended.
And Goldman spins around and scores. Makes it 7-1. 7-2 after the escape. Mark Sindlinger is going to wrestle for Iowa at heavyweight, and John Hierapolis for Iowa State. And as it's happened so many times in the past, this meet comes down to the heavyweight match. And it's fun, I must say, to have it happen.
That's right. You see the picture there of Coach Gable, and he's not sitting passively in the chair anymore. He's up and getting some instructions here.
Iowa State has not had anything happen here to their advantage since 158.
That's going to be tempo now.
A warning against Voelker. Jim Gibbons is a little discouraged about that, and he calls the referee over. Now he's going to have to watch what he says.
Eric took the shot to get him there in the first place.
No, this is over a period of time. He's been he's holding on, tying up. He's been backing off. He takes a shot every once in a while, but this has been over a period of time, and then he just backed off there. I understand what you're saying, but it's been for a period of time.
That's Sindlinger, Mark Sindlinger, starting center on the Iowa football team. Well, of course, we'd like to make it a 3-point decision because then a draw at heavyweight would win for Iowa State.
That's right.
That's why this takedown that Goldman wants is so important.
They can't afford to let him tie him up like that. There's just one arm blocking him.
And Goldman gets it. That was a big takedown. Oh, such a big one. Well, it's going to be exactly tied right now. It is 16-all going to heavyweight. A major decision for Goldman against Eric Voelker. I think Iowa State would have preferred not to have Voelker out there, but he wanted to go, and he did go. Here comes John Hierapolis for Iowa State, ranked number 5. Sindlinger is a crackerjack wrestler, and he's a lot bigger than Hierapolis.
Of course, Mark Sindlinger, hell, 6 weeks before we were watching Mark playing a bowl game. And Mark would come over, sneak over to the wrestling room and lift weights with us a little bit.
I had not ever wrestled him. I knew he was ranked, and I knew the coaches. Coach Bannock was working out with him, and so, I knew, a little bit about what he did and what to expect in the match.
After the 190-pound match, when I walked out, a lot of things kind of flashed through my mind. I thought to myself how far I had come from just the year before, where it would have been a mediocre transfer year. And I also felt, for an instant, tremendous pressure, almost a little bit of panic.
There's nothing like it. Iowa State, it's one of the best shows on earth.